You shared with me a list of occasions where you experienced injustice, which then alters the way you see people and interact around them, influencing you to not aspire for anything, or even to avoiding women. Initially, you behaved around them with this kind of brain. Meanwhile, your environment moved and spoke to you with the patterns of this kind of brain. They have a system and process of doing things, lumping you in with their psych map. Does this make sense? Every time people tie labels when they don't know you, form conclusions when they don't have all the information. This is the result of information age propaganda, choosing floating data over connecting with people, seeing people collectively instead of individually, prioritizing performance over journey, impressions over character, symptoms over conditions. These are all habits that may exploit the unfortunate. It is the right thing to do to maintain structural integrity, to discipline right from wrong. However, to further neglect those in need is psychologically destructive to a person. I understand your conditions as you had inferior functioning, yet your environment only detained your movements, which explains why you feel powerless. When your environment doesn't listen to you and alters outcomes, you are like that marble that lands where people put you. Now is a good time to identify psychologically abusive behaviors so that we address that this reality by which you see isn't normal. Anytime influencers choose control over authenticity or alter outcomes to their benefit instead of for your well-being, let's not forget the issue with not taking responsibility and choosing to blame others for one's bad choices. This only sabotages your psyche and how you move around people. As you shared in your first expression video, there were several examples of psychological abuse. Any social misconduct, neglect, or dominating patterns will carry with you as you leave such influences, which leads to your second video, which demonstrated the carryover of that psych map. Lastly, your interaction with that woman you love demonstrates how your psych map had collided with hers. You thought you knew her by her teachings and media productions. By circumstances of what happened, perception and reality clash, and I sense that your psyche is again adulterated by an alternate outcome. I'm not blind to this reality you experience. I came here to Heaven Realm to expose toxic patterns on Earth and rewrite the psych map of righteous normalcy. In order to do so, we must shine light on that which sabotages conscience. Now let's take a look at conscience and identify Earth behaviors that alter a person's ability to discern right from wrong. We covered how education, intentionality, and psych well-being influences a person's choices. However, psychological abuse disrupts that flow, altering a person's ability to think independently. Here are some examples of psychological abuse and how it changes a person's perception of reality. Anytime a person speaks one thing, making promises but doesn't follow through, or worse, constructs your misfortune, it leads to distrust and fear of people. Anytime a person paints over your self-awareness with projections that don't align with your perceptions, beliefs, or state of mind, it leads to lack of confidence and distrust in one's own decisions, which becomes problematic when a person can't think for themselves long term. Anytime a person attaches labels to you without learning about you, leads to defamation, reputational abuse, and displacement. Anytime religion is taken out of context, education does not help you, or any form of broadcasted information that influences immoral or unethical decisions. You absorb and process shapes the knowledge by which you perceive reality. Now that we've covered circumstances that are out of your control, we'll talk about what is in your control next time we meet.